The United States Supreme Court rules that the SEC can no longer use in-house judges to fight civil fraud cases. Coinbase officially sues the SEC as well as the FDIC. And the last thing that we're going to be going over, and probably biggest piece of news, is the Mt. Gox repayments, where over $9 billion worth of Bitcoin is going to be available for customers to dump into the markets, and how that's going to impact them. So make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. On my channel, we talk about anything that impacts financial markets. This is going to be the stock market, mainly focused on cryptocurrency, but we also talk about the political environment, especially because we are in an election year. Getting started, today's going to be Thursday, July 4th, so we are celebrating the 4th of July. I wanted to get started with this and say our thanks to you for all you do, defending our flag, the red, white, and blue. As Americans, we know what freedom means: the joy, the peace, and the right to dream. Freedom we love, but it is not free. The sacrifice is great, and you give willingly. Our thoughts and prayers are with you today and your fight for freedom so far away. May God keep you safe in all that you do and bring you back home to those who love you. And I wanted to do that because our men and women who sacrifice so much, and I know it's not Veterans Day, it's the 4th of July where we celebrate our independence, but our American troops keep on defending our freedom, and without that, we might not be an independent nation. Getting started, though, with our market reports, the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies right now is $2.13 trillion. This is a 3.88% decrease on the day today. So we're a little in the red right now. Fear and Greed Index, we're at a 45. Still not terrible. We're dropped below a $60,000 Bitcoin, so we're currently trading at $58,578. But when we were on the run up for Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was trading roughly about $20,000, as we shot up to this $58,000 mark, we were in the greed section. So even though we dropped down, in my opinion, we're still above this $2 trillion market cap. So we're still seeing good things with the markets. Certain cryptocurrencies are doing better than others. Ethereum still waiting for the spot ETF approval to go live, where it can actually be traded at that spot price. Bitcoin currently trading at $3,148, and XRP has a disappointing price point right now below that 50 cent, currently trading at 44.33%. Now, in my opinion, I do see that as a good buy price for me. Again, nothing I say in this video should be considered financial advice, and you guys should do your guys' own independent research. But I see some big things coming with the XRP token, and we just got to wait for this lawsuit to get away and finish, especially because we're coming towards the end, where the judge is going to decide on what the payment's going to be, the remedies portion of the trial. Now, getting into our biggest gainers and losers on the day today, Beam's going to be our biggest loser, currently down 12.8%. Core currently down 12.1%. And then we have a few others in the nines, high nines: BSV 9.9, AR 9.5, IMX 9.1. Moving on to our reports, though, I wanted to share this, and everything's going to be down low in the comment section. So if you guys want to watch these videos, I don't want to play them because they take a while. But this girl shares a great perspective, or woman, if you want to say that, shares a great perspective of where our system is and how people should see and value money. And she says, when you wake up and you see through this system, it is hard to get up and go through your normal routine. Money is printed out of thin air. We know why wars are started. We know who benefits. And knowing all of that, we still have to pretend to wake up, clock in, and act like we don't know this entire world, this entire world is going on. And she basically says it's hard to go to work every single day knowing that you're trying so hard to get your paycheck, what you're making on your hourly or your salary, while the government just keeps on printing money like it's nothing, causing the inflation, devaluing the dollars that you guys currently work for. So great video, great perspective from her. I wanted to share that. It's going to be in the comments below. Now, with this, Elizabeth Warren says, let's call this Supreme Court ruling on Chevron what it is. It's a power grab by the far right, benefit the wealth and well-connected. And then Meta Lawman, he's a lawyer mainly focused in cryptocurrency on Twitter, or if you want to say X now, says, no, in this case, a government agency demanded that a family-owned fishing company pay $700 a day inspection fee. Scout is invalidated the fee because Congress never authorized it, but Elizabeth Warren sides of the government agency over the working family. So she says that basically it's okay that you have to pay to go out every single day. So if you wanted to start up your own company, you have to pay $700 a day for somebody to inspect your vehicle or your ship for you to be able to even go out on sea. And then while you're on sea, if you screw up or let's say damage happens and the US Coast Guard comes out or um, whatever boating service that the agency has, then you guys go out there and then let's say like something breaks, you get a person that comes in and inspects and says, oh well, this is broken. They say, well, too bad, you're going to have to pay to get this fixed and here's a massive fine. So they never authorized this. Congress didn't. The agency kind of just said it. So this family-owned fishing company kind of went out and sued them and said, this is kind of unfair that we have to keep on doing this. And I completely agree. So I'm siding with this change and I completely agree with it. So we'll see what happens. Moving on though, AOC makes a bizarre entrance with Enough by Cardi B blasting it over the speakers at Jabal Bowman's rally. So I'm just going to play this video of her just, going crazy, dancing, trying to get votes. And it's really interesting to just see like the different sides of her. She tries to be well respected in front of Congress, but she comes out here trying to like act a fool, jumping around, dancing, trying to get the people's vote. But with Jamal Bowman, he is part of the squad with AOC as the leader. He lost. He is a crypto critic who voted against the FIT 21 bill, has just lost the New York 16th district in the primary. So he didn't lose to a Republican candidate. He lost in his own party, the primary. And then when you have the big election in November, you go against the other party. So he lost in the primary, just the seat to see who gets to get on the Democratic ticket. He lost that, so he's no longer going to be a part of the Democratic Party starting in January when they officially turn over after the election. Great to see, in my opinion. Now, Andrew Cuomo comes out. He is the former AG in New York, says if his name was not Donald Trump and if he was not running for president, I'm telling you that case would not have been brought. And that's what's offensive to people, and it should be. Completely agree with this. Obviously, when he was in office, he didn't do any of this. He never came on live TV and sided with anyone. He's seeing how bad New York is. It fell under his leadership, and it's gotten worse since he's been gone, in my opinion. But put down your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think of the Democrats now that are not in office coming out and siding with the Republican Party on a lot of different aspects of things? So I'm just trying to get rid of these notifications. They just keep coming up. It's annoying. I'm right here. Lauren Boebert says Joe Biden is spending this entire week holed up in Camp David preparing for the debate against President Trump. He's been in the game for politics for over 50 plus years, but he's also been a failure his entire career. 1 week isn't going to prepare him to defend his 5 decades of failure and definitely won't help him explain away the past 4 years. Now, so this is prior to the debate. So I'm just catching up. So we're going to get caught up after this video. But in this, we officially had the debate, and everyone's blasting President Joe Biden. He was a complete atrocity on stage. A lot of people don't see him as fit for office. His mental decline is completely ridiculous. 10 minutes into the debate, and the drugs are not strong enough. He was slurring his speech. People say he has a stutter. He wasn't stuttering. He couldn't just even think clearly. No one saying that his stutter doesn't affect how he talks. We're not saying that. A bunch of people are defending him, saying, no, it was his stutter. It was his stutter. The White House came out and said, oh, he had a cold. That's the reason why. Oh, and he was jet lagged from his trip that he had 2 weeks prior to the debate. He had a whole week that he laid down in Camp David and couldn't get his shit together. In my opinion, completely ridiculous. And we need to see former President Trump as president of the United States. Joe Biden just declared that every single person who votes for Trump is voting against American democracy. So in my opinion, he's basically trying to fearmonger people into voting for him. Obviously, you have the right to your own opinion. If you want to vote for President Biden for president, go right ahead and do it again. You have every right to do it. And I'm not going to fearmonger you into that, saying that you're voting against democracy, right? Our president of the United States should not be playing games and also playing with the minds of the American people. If you want to vote for who you want to vote for the person that you believe is truly going to help the American people. I say it's former President Trump. You might disagree with me and vote along the other lines. That's totally fine. You're more than willing to do so. Getting into our stock update. This one was really interesting. Senior Vice President at the Walt Disney Company details discriminatory hiring practices. Nobody else is going to tell you this, but they're not considering any white males for this job, says Michael Giordano. So the entire video, 20 minutes, is here. It looks like he's on a date with somebody. Turns out it's going to be a fake reporter And in this, he kind of details that white males are being discriminated against at Disney, and you're not going to go up in promotions or even be eligible for certain jobs. And if you are outside of Disney wanting to get hired, it is very hard to as a white male. So it's kind of crazy to see with this. And then also, Disney World attendance plummets amid soaring prices and bad business practices. Bob Eager says we need to address the issues to return to a period of sustained growth. High costs driven by inflation and the absence of the 50th anniversary celebration contributed to the decline. In my opinion, it wasn't that. It was the wokeness that Disney's gotten into. But put your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think of that? Shanghai's Thousand Trees Mall opens. This mall looks completely awesome. Would love to have this in the United States. I would definitely go visit. But these are just live images of what it looks like now. If you ever go visit Shanghai, I would definitely, if I went out, I would definitely go and visit this. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, was fined approximately $2.2 million for providing services to the Indian clients without adhering to the nation's anti-money laundering rules. In my opinion, 2.2 million is not a lot of money for Binance. It's chump change to them. So they're basically just going to pay the fine. I don't think they're going to do anything with it and try to uh, try to I can't even think of the word right now. Sorry, guys. But they're not going to basically try to fight it in the courts. Bitcoin fell below the $61,000 as news of Mt. Gox repayments bolstered the bearish market sentiment. So we're going to talk more about this in just a little bit. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Gemini crypto exchange founders donate 30.94 Bitcoin worth $2 million to Donald Trump to end the Biden administration's war on crypto. Completely agree with this. Think that is awesome. Michael Dell, the 14th richest person in the world and CEO of Dell Pictures, posts this image. Obviously, a bunch of the world elites right now, the richest people in tech, are getting into cryptocurrency and love Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's probably the biggest one. He's the CEO and founder of MicroStrategy. 820 billion Standard Chartered Bank to establish a spot trading desk for buying and selling Bitcoin and Ethereum. Wish they would add other cryptocurrencies, but that's what they're going to start with. Obviously, just more banks are starting to use cryptocurrency. The following applications filed an updated version of the S1 spot ETF applications for Ethereum. So Bitwise, Fidelity, VanEck, Franklin, 21 Shares, Grayscale, and BlackRock. They updated it because the SEC came out and said, well, it wasn't strong enough for it to go live. So we need something to come up with, and you guys need to file and update it. So they just officially filed their updated versions, waiting on the SEC to figure that out. Now, the Mt. Gox says it will start Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash repayments in July. So a lot of people are speculating that actually today, the 4th of July, is when these payments were going to go live. So basically, with this whole Mt. Gox debacle, we're going to get through a little history dive with it. So in a few days, bankrupt Tokyo-based Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox will begin paying back thousands of users roughly $9 billion worth of tokens. The payments come as more than 10 years after the platform went under following a series of heists that cost the exchange up to 950,000 Bitcoin. While this is good news for victims of the hack who have spent years waiting to be made whole, the price of Bitcoin slid to 59, currently at $58,000 in crypto market's second weekly decline of the year. So in this, a bunch of people in Mt. Gox, so in this exchange, ended up buying Bitcoin for roughly about $400. And now Bitcoin is currently trading at 58,000. So that is a massive increase. And these Mt. Gox Bitcoin were actually locked up. So as Bitcoin rose in the 2016, the 2020 markets, and now currently the 2024 markets, we're not seeing none of the Bitcoin was allowed to be sold. So a lot of these people are like, man, I wanted to sell when it was, 15,000, 20,000, 50,000. Now almost $60,000. It rose all the way above its all-time highs at 72,000. They wanted to sell, they weren't allowed to. Now they're going to get the chance to sell that Bitcoin. Is this going to impact the markets? In my opinion, yes, it will. But when we look at where Bitcoin is, Bitcoin currently, its market cap for total cryptocurrency is 2.13 trillion. $1.15 trillion of that, okay, is just in Bitcoin alone. So if we look at our market right here, so this price right here would be changed because this is where the billions are, this 9, so 50 billion right here. So 1,150 billion. So basically we would go down to 1.1 for one is what we're going to go to if it gets sold. So we're not even going to have a massive price drop, but the fear alone is what's going to trip up a bunch of people. And that's why I think we're having a massive decline. When people see billions, they're like, oh, that's a lot of money. And it is a lot of money. But when you look at the cryptocurrency market cap whole in the trillions, $9 billion isn't a whole lot, but the fear mongering, okay, that's what is dropping the price, in my opinion. President Donald Trump's in talks to speak at a Bitcoin convention in July. I think that this would be really good for cryptocurrency. We're actually doing a lot of time right now, so I want to speed through a lot of this stuff. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to be freed after 5 years following his prison U.S. Plea deal. He did serve 5 years in prison, and he was actually just freed recently, so that's good news for him. Whether you would agree or disagree with everything that went on, he's now free. SEC Chair Gary Gensler says that the process for a spot Ethereum ETF approval is going very smoothly. Obviously, we're waiting to see with that because that was 6 days later after the S1 updates. Bolivia lifts ban on Bitcoin and crypto payments, officially making it legal for financial entities. Now, Bolivia is a smaller country, but any global adoption of cryptocurrency, in my opinion, is really great. We saw 21 shares filed their updated versions. Now, Joshua Jake shares this, and everyone says, but this time is going to be different. So cryptocurrency has been following all of this trend, and if you look at the markets from 2011 to 2013, 2014 to 2017, 2018 to 2021, 2022 to 2024, right now where we are, getting into 2025, you can see that we drop down and then we slowly retrace up. Drop down, slowly retrace up. Drop down, slowly retrace. We might have a little bit. This was the issue with the pandemic. So we had a little bit of stuff going on here. But if we look, it's following the first 2 years. We had a little bit of issues here. But are we going to see this? Are we going to see a massive drop like we did during the pandemic? In my opinion, no. I think we're going to see this small increase back up. So I wanted to point that out there to kind of show where the markets are and what's been going on. Ripple to keep 25 billion XRP in reserve for strategic use and profit. A bunch of people have been speculating this. Ripple's never come out and officially confirmed that that's what they want to do. But everyone knows that Ripple's been currently selling their escrow every single month. And they have roughly about $48-49 billion tokens worth of XRP still in escrow. So if they sold off half of that, they kept the other half to use later on. We'll see. Now, 1 in 8 Americans sent money abroad last year. Why? To help their families with daily living expenses. The next step is getting cross-border transactions as low as 1 second and 1 cent. Important to be made with Coinbase Wallet. We've seen this though, and they partnered with Stripe as well. So Stripe is a global technology company that builds economic infrastructure on the internet. But we've seen this with Ripple. I wanted to point this out. Ripple, that's what they've been trying to do with their XRP token on the XRPL. Coinbase is to enable and send receive support for USD on Algorand. Algorand's one of my cryptocurrencies that I currently like and do hold right now just for reference. But, Algorand is tied with the Clinton Foundation. Obviously, that's a huge negative in my books, but I'm going to try to make money as I can. The marketing hedera email has been compromised. Do not open any of the emails or links from this address. We will provide more details soon. Key things in cryptocurrency: whether it's been sent from an official email or not, never open any links to this because a lot of people are trying to hack into all of these email services right now on a day-to-day basis. And if you click the link, they might get access to your guys' crypto wallets. And basically, to do this, most cryptocurrency companies and exchanges will say, we'll never send you any links. We'll never send you any emails promising any free cryptocurrency if you give us something or you open up our emails. So just for reference, don't do that. XDC ecosystem welcomes Secret Network. We're excited to announce a partnership in integration of secret confidential computing layer with the XDC Foundation. The XDC token uses the XFIN network. In my book, this is great news for the XDC token. We didn't see a lot of price action here. Canada is trying for a Solana ETF. So 3IQ digital asset managers trying to get a Solana ETF. And we're also trying to see that here in the United States. VanEck US files for a Solana ETF. We'll see if that gets approved. In my opinion, I think XRP should get the next ETF, not Solana. Solana is very slow, high fees, and then also gets shut down all the time. Notfinancialadvice.crypto says that this book on digital money that was done 30 years ago is exactly what Ripple was trying to do now, but they were planning this 30 years prior. In my opinion, I'm going to probably buy the book. We'll see what happens. So, win in the Ripple with the Oakland class action. Judge grants Ripple summary judgment motion for the federal case, class claims of unregistered securities, as well as the U.S. securities claims. So, in this case, this dude basically had like 100 XRP tokens and he thought it was going to be worth a bunch of money later on, sued Ripple um, because the price of the token didn't go up. You can't blame Ripple for the price not going up. The SEC, they're in a lawsuit with. Ripple's never going to promise you anything. So in my case, glad that this finally got thrown out of the courts. If you want to read more about this class action, you guys can. And they say it's a big class action. It was one person. Moving on, though, as soon as this goes, but Monica Long, for those of you guys that don't know, she's the president over at Ripple. She sat down in an interview. If you guys want to watch this, you guys can. It's 27 minutes. I'm not going to play it, but I wanted to give it as reference for you guys. Brad Garlinghouse, don't know why the internet's doing this. Oh, this is frustrating. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll see if it loads. Here we go. Slowly but surely. So, absolute nonsense coming from Gary Gensler today about this slander about all crypto execs going to jail from the man who completely missed FTX and actually cozied up to SBF. This is Sam Bankman Fried. He is the founder and former CEO of the FTX exchange and even wasn't even invited into the DOJ announcement about Binance. If he was really working for the American people, like he says he is, he would have been fired long ago or he would have resigned. Gensler will cause Biden to lose the election. In my opinion, I don't think Gensler is going to basically cause Biden to lose the election, but it's definitely hurting his vote count in cryptocurrency customers and holders. We'll see what happens later on, though. And then Gary Gensler says that on his agenda, if the courts adjust it, we adjust. Stuart Alderati, who's the chief legal officer over at Ripple, says note to Gary Gensler that the courts aren't adjusting. They are finding that you are breaking the law, exceeding your statutory authority. Completely agree with that. And the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on Thursday that the SEC can no longer use in-house judges to try civil securities fraud cases, stripping the agency of one of its key enforcement tools. Obviously, this is a big win because a lot of these judges, in my opinion, are really biased towards the SEC because they work in the SEC. So they're no longer going to be able to try these civil fraud cases. So basically, a lot of these people who get sued for these civil fraud and securities cases will actually get a fair shake in the court systems. Obviously, we've seen that with Ripple versus the SEC. We're seeing that the judges in these cases are disagreeing with the SEC's authority of power. The SEC has formally charged Consensus with violating securities laws by operating an unregistered broker-dealer and engaging in the offer and sales of securities through its MetaMask platform. This was expected following the Wells notice for Consensus received in April. My sources had told me that they are expecting that these charges to come around at the end of the month. Now, the SEC dropped its lawsuit against Consensus for the Ethereum sales, but now they're coming after them again with the offer and sales of the MetaMask platform. In my opinion, completely ridiculous lawsuit. We thought they would have learned their lesson with the Supreme Court right here ruling that they're no longer allowed to do that, but obviously they haven't. Coinbase, thought to be a contracted research firm, is suing the SEC and the FDIC, accusing them of failing to produce documents under open records laws that they shed light on the regulators' views on cryptocurrency. Finally, we're seeing this. We should have saw this out of Ripple, but obviously, finally, someone's coming out and doing this. Still hate Coinbase for getting rid of the XRP token during the lawsuit for the few years that it was being sued, and currently still is. But Coinbase finally got their shit together, in my opinion, and put the XRP token back on its platform. And the last thing that we're going to be talking about is a big win for clarity over secondary market sales of digital assets. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson has just dismissed the SEC's claiming that secondary sales of Binance BNB's token qualify as securities under the Howey test, citing Ripple Judge Annalisa Torres' opinion that the economic reality of tokens transactions mattered when applying Howey. So she basically cited the Ripple case, in my opinion, I think this is great news, and that Ripple's case is probably the biggest case precedent that is going to be going on for cryptocurrency from now until the end of time enduring for cryptocurrency. And the reason why is because it's setting a major precedent that the SEC over leveraged, overpowered, and used its power for the benefit of former SEC employees, mainly Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, especially with Bill Hinman with the Ethereum free pass speech and his ties with one of the other financial firms that he used to work for, Simpson Thatcher, because profiting off of Ethereum tokens was in his severance package, and he gave the Ethereum free pass speech. And then the former head of the SEC, Jay Clayton, allowed all of this to happen. But thank you guys for tuning in to my video. Happy 4th of July. And if you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.